Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Josh, and this is your stimulus check update for the next stimulus package for Thursday, March 18th. I hope everyone is off to a good and safe start to the Thursday so far. In this video, I'll be discussing updates in regards to the current relief package and the third stimulus check. I'll also be discussing a lawsuit taking place regarding the most recent relief bill, unemployment, and then I'll be wrapping up this video by answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. But first, if you wouldn't mind real quickly liking this video, give me a big thumbs up. It really just helps with the YouTube algorithm in terms of pushing this video out to other viewers like you, and hopefully helping other people like you as well. Okay, so as of today, according to the IRS, they have sent out approximately 90 million payments, totaling around $242 billion from the most recent relief package. Mostly, of course, these payments came in the form of a direct deposit from people who had either filed a tax return within the last 2 years or used the non-filers tool. In addition to the direct deposits they made, it's also being reported that they sent out around 150,000 checks worth around $442 million. If you haven't yet received your payment, not to worry. In the coming weeks, the IRS plans to continue sending out additional batches of payments through direct deposits, checks in the mail, and debit cards. For most Americans, no action is necessary in order to receive these payments. If you filed a tax return within the last 2 years, whether that was in 2019 or 2020, then the IRS will have all the information that they need in order to send you this payment. Also, if you usually receive your Social Security benefits on your Direct Express card, then you should expect the $1,400 to go on this card as well. Hopefully, for most people with Direct Express cards, they begin to see their payments show up within the next week or so. Again, there is no exact time frame for everybody, as the IRS will be sending these payments out in waves. However, most people should receive their payment before the end of March. In the meantime, if you want the most recent updates, I would strongly recommend checking the payment portal, which will be your #1 resource in finding out exactly when you should expect to receive your payment. With that said, in the comment section below, let me know whether or not you've received the most recent payment, and if not, if you're receiving a payment date yet. Again, I know it's extremely frustrating waiting for these payments to arrive, and I do wish they could be quicker, but they shouldn't take too much longer. In other stimulus news, the Biden administration is already facing its first lawsuits from the most recent $1.9 trillion relief package, this one from the Attorney General in Ohio, Dave Yost. Yost is alleging that the federal government is imposing unconstitutional limits on the ability for states to access some of the $350 billion in aid in this package. While this money can be used to pay for expenses, such as for first responders, it strictly prohibits states from using this money to directly or indirectly offset new tax cuts. This means that states that had planned tax cuts even before the pandemic took place could be in jeopardy of receiving this money. So in this case, the Attorney General in Ohio is saying that the federal government has no right to make such a demand, and he believes that this should not be enforced. So we'll just have to wait and see how all of this plays out. In unemployment news, it's being reported by the U.S. Labor Department that the $300 plus up from the most recent relief package, signed into law, may not arrive until some point in the middle of April. For some states, unfortunately, it could be even later than that. Because of the so-called changes, even though the benefits are staying at $300 per week, states are reporting that they need several weeks to make changes in their computer systems. In a memo written by an official in the Labor Department, it read, acknowledging that states need time to modify their computer systems to accommodate the extensions and modifications, the department expects that many states will need until the middle of April or later to implement the new provisions and begin notifying individuals. So while they hope that getting this relief package signed into law before the March 14th deadline would help prevent people from seeing a lapse in their benefits, obviously this didn't help too much. Of course, once people begin receiving their benefits once again, their first payment should be a retroactive lump sum payment from where they left off, which was the week ending on March 14th. Hopefully, most states don't see too big of a lapse in their benefits, but let's wait and see. Another thing to keep an eye on over the next few months will be the unemployment numbers throughout the United States. In the most recent unemployment report, the rate of unemployment throughout the US was at 6.2%. Even though this number is higher than pre-pandemic levels, it should be noted that we saw similar levels of unemployment back in July of 2014. It's probably going to take a very long time to get back to the record levels of unemployment we saw last year at 3.5%. Although, right now, there are 4 states at the top, with South Dakota, Utah, Nebraska, and Vermont nearly having unemployment rates at 3%. We also have 10 states with an unemployment rate at 4% or lower, which all in all is pretty solid. At the bottom remain Hawaii, California, and New York. So while some states have their economies fully open and are doing very well, some of the other states obviously have a long way to go. With the benefits from this most recent relief package expiring on September 6th, it's hard saying at this point whether one last extension will be necessary or not. On that, just like everything else, we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so at this point in time, I'm going to move right along to answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. And if you do have any other comments or questions for me, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I do try to answer as many of the comments and questions as I possibly can, but for those comments and questions I'm not able to respond to, I do try to pick some of the more popular ones to answer in the next video in video form. Okay, so without further ado, let me go ahead and jump into the first comment video, which is from Jacqueline. Jacqueline says, will the child tax credit be retroactively paid from January through July? Okay, thank you so much for your question. And yes, if you opt to receive your child tax credit payments on a monthly basis, then the first one should be a lump sum payment, retroactive from January all the way through July. So, in total, for one child under the age of 6, you should be receiving $2,100 for your first payment. From there, at this point, it's unknown how often the payments will be, if they'll be on a monthly basis, every 2 months, etc. Hopefully, they will come more often, but let's wait and see. Okay, moving on along to the next comment video, which is from Michelle. Michelle says, Josh, thank you for all of your help. My son and I did receive $1,400 yesterday. My question is, can I go back and claim the other 2 stimulus checks? Okay, thank you so much for your question. And yes, if you didn't receive the first direct payment of $1,200 or the second direct payment of $600, then you can claim that money as a credit on the tax returns that you filed this year. Additionally, since you never received the money for your dependent son, you can also claim an additional $1,100 for him as well. So in total, as a recovery rebate credit on this year's tax returns, you can claim $2,900. Once the IRS processes your tax returns, which could take a while, considering just how far behind they are, you should receive a tax refund of $2,900 on top of whatever else you're supposed to receive. Alright, moving along to the next comment video, which is from Graciela. Graciela says, I just got approved for SSDI in April of 2020, and I also did the non-filers tool in 2020. I received the first and second stimulus check. Do I need to do anything else to receive the third one? Okay, thank you so much for your question, and no, since you already filled out the non-filers tool last year, you don't need to take any further action. If you still haven't received your payment at this point in time, it's simply due to the fact that the IRS hasn't yet sent it. Since you received the first 2 payments via direct deposit, I would expect that your next one should come that way in the next week as well. Okay, moving along to the next comment video, which is from James. James says, hey, good morning, Josh. My son has already filed his taxes, but he will have a son of his own in July. He did not get the $1,400 for the baby, so doesn't that mean he'll have to file for a credit next year on his taxes? Or is there something he can do to get it this year? Thank you for all of your updates. Okay, thank you so much for your question, James. And yes, if your son is having a son of his own this year, then he will need to wait until next year when he goes to file his taxes to claim the credit for him. So next year when he goes to file his taxes, first off, he'll be able to claim the $1,400 credit for the most recent round of direct payments. In addition to that, he'll also be able to claim the $3,600 child tax credit, which most people will be getting in monthly payments throughout the year. So in total, next year, he should be able to claim around $5,000 in credits for his newborn. Alright, so on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you did enjoy the content in this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It is completely free to do so, and it's a great support to me. Also, if you'd like to receive 2 free socks from Webull, valued up to $1,800, or 1 free stock from Robinhood just for signing up and linking your bank account. Please feel free to claim those free stocks by clicking the link in the description box below. And finally, if you join Rakuten with my referral link in the description box below and spend at least $30, Rakuten will give you $30 cash back. This means you can buy an item through Rakuten with one of their referral links, such as Nike, for $30, and Rakuten will give you $30 just for making that purchase. This is just an incredible deal that we'd love for everyone to take advantage of. Okay, so until next time, I'll see you guys and hope you have a great day today.